Hi everyone, I'm back for another video today, Season 8. I wanted to showcase you a build for leveling from T1 to T4. I see many sorcerers struggling in Season 8 because it's a little bit harder now to get T4. Many of the top build got nerfed, maybe not enough, but for the sorcerer it might be a little bit hard. I have all my planner here for the people who wants to check. This build assumes that you are already level 60 and ready to blast the T1. Otherwise you have this leveling build here. This is the leveling build from 1 to 60. It's pretty straightforward and pretty easy if you want to follow it. I'll put both links in the description, but today we're going to focus on this one. This one doesn't require a lot of stuff to make it works, and you don't need mythic. You only need splintering energy aspect and fractured winterglass. The splintering energy aspect can be found in the codex. It means like you can just do the dungeon and have it for free. And fractured winterglass, we can get it on Lord's here just by killing the boss. You need to be a little bit lucky to get it, but it's not very hard and it doesn't require unique. So you can find Lords here, and I think the dungeon to get splintering energy is this one, Iron Hold. Need to check. I will just showcase you the build quickly in the pits. I can farm T4 right now pretty easily. As you can see, the gear I don't have any mythic. This one is not even GA. Masterworking, everything 4 to 12. I'll show you all my setup after. I'll just make a showcase so you can see how it plays, the skill rotation and stuff. Elixir, usually I use advantage or resourcefulness if you have mana problem. We will go with advantage one. For the incenses, it doesn't stack anymore for the XP, so I just use one. But feel free to use more if you need more toughness, damage. Let's try like Pits 50. Pits 50 should be alright, I guess, for a showcase. T4 is now equal to Pits 55. As you can see, it's the build is working pretty well, pretty easily without any mythic. And yes, for Season 8, Frozen Orb Lightning Spear is back to the menu. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be the top build in the end. This build is just a transition build, but some people enjoy Frozen Orb, so it might be the occasion to play Frozen Orb again, even though it's not real. Frozen Orb build is more like a vessel for splintering energy Lightning Spear. But yeah, Frozen Orb has very cool animation. It's a shame that the build itself is not that strong, but it is what it is. You can still enjoy some Frozen Orb with Lightning Spear. As you can see here, the gameplay is pretty straightforward, pretty easy. If you're used to the Sorc, it's often the same thing. You spam your core spell and you press the other things off cooldown. I will go into a deeper skill rotation after that. But yeah, that's a transition build, not the final one. You have the final one also on Mobility that doesn't use Frozen Orb anymore and Winterglass. But the problem is you need a pretty good amulet for that. So this build is a good in between. Oops, we are a bit squishy. And yeah, that was pretty quick. So we'll go over through all the setup, but before that let's check the skill rotation. Very easy. Skill rotation, you're just gonna hold down your Frozen Orb, you're gonna press Unstable Current when it's up to have more attack speed. Always press Arse Armor. Fireball here is just to execute enemy, but you never really use it because monster dies too fast. The real reason that we have Fireball and not, for example, Ice Blade is that Fractured Winterglass got reworked, and now casting Frozen Orb has 50% chance to spam a random conjuration on your action bar. That's why we get only Lightning Spear on the action bar here. That's why we don't have Hydra, Familia, or Ice Blade. We have only Lightning Spear to generate as many Lightning Spear as we can with spamming Frozen Orb. And Unstable Current is just here to give you more attack speed. You don't really generate more. You generate more lightning by teleporting, but not with Frozen Orb, so you don't have to worry much about your Unstable Current cooldown, right? So that was a skill rotation. We're gonna check quickly the gear. The gear is pretty scarce, but you will notice that you don't need that much to reach T4. It's not that hard. I don't have any mythic. Everything is masterwork 4 to 12. And yeah, if you don't have a GA, I didn't have a GA when I started, I advise you to run some pits, get some obols, and try to gamble what you need. Get at least one GA on the stuff so you can double temper and then you can masterwork it. You have all the details on Mobalistic about what I think it's the best. Here is just what I was able to find, so obviously it's not perfect. I'm just doing with what I can. So on the helm, you want to try to get intelligence, max life, cooldown. I got lightning spear for more damage, so I couldn't find cooldown, but lightning spear is also okay for more damage. Barrier generation, total armor. You want to try to be capped on your armor. You need to have 1,000 armor to be capped, and each tier, like going from T3 to T4, you're gonna lose some armor, so you always have to check. So this one's gonna temper armor. On the chest, it's gonna be life, intelligence. It can be all resistance armor. It's gonna depend of what you need, but I had armor here as a GA, so I took this one. Barrier generation, I temper total armor again. You can also get life. Always depends on what you need. On the aspect, I went for the defensive one with ever living. This one was concentration because I am casting lightning spear, so those two give you toughness. On the glove, I got intelligence, max life, critical strike chance. Obviously it's not the best, like it would be better to get attack speed or critical strike damage, but everything is in the planner. On the temper, I got Frost Nova size. Not sure if I wanted this one, but it's great because I also use the rune here tool that's gonna proc some Frost Nova. And I also use Guard to get more crits because of splintering energy. You need to have almost 100% crits. And yeah, on the pants classic, intelligence, maximum life, I got Orange Herald. Now we don't have offensive aspect on the pants and on the boots anymore, so that's gonna help you a little bit on unstable current, but you don't need to have 100% uptime on unstable current. On the boots, I found the Rakanos weight, very lucky. If you don't have it, you can just use regular boots, no problems. You just try to get attacks reduced cooldown by 1.2 seconds. That's very important because when you teleport and you attack, that's reduce the cooldown on your teleports, and that's gonna allow you to teleport more. That's very important for mobility. For the weapon, you need a staff. Splintering energy always require a staff because it's the most damaging. You want intelligence, max life, critical strike damage, temper critical strike damage, and lightning spear double damage to have double damage. Obviously you use lightning spear aspect on the two-hander because it's the main source of your damage. On the gems is critical strike damage because splintering energy scales off your critical strike damage, and you also use intelligence gem for more damage and all resistance. Winterglass is the second condition that you need to play this build. As I mentioned earlier in the video, you can find it at the Lord's Ear here. You kill him, you need some Exquisite blood. You find blood in Helltide, I believe, on the Maiden. You summon the Maiden and it gives you some blood, so you can kill Zir in T1 and have a chance to get the loots. If you had to choose a GA, you would get Primordial Binding, the most important one, and the legendary aspect has to be as high as possible. I have 50%, but obviously if you have 65% is the best. That's pretty important, but don't overthink about that. On the ring, I found this one. I think I wanted to ring with attack speed, critical strike damage, but it still works. Like, you just want to get your build work until you get mythic unique like Starless Sky, so you don't need to have the exact stat I put in my planner. On the aspect, very important, I have elemental acuity that's gonna help you with your mana. Like this build, it's very hard to deal with the mana when you don't have good gear, but with elemental acuity it's pretty easy. If you don't have any problem, you can just switch it for an offensive aspect. Talrasha that we use in almost every build on the Sorc, very classic one. You wanna have GA on cooldown and a very high legendary power. And yeah, as you can see, Masterwork is only 4 to 12, we are already on T4. For your resistance and armor here, you can socket, you can put a skull or a diamond. It's also gonna depend on what you need. And yeah, the best is to follow the planner. I might update it later, try to be as close as possible to the planner. If you can't, I don't think it won't matter too much, it should still work. For the boss power, we need this one, Hatred Embrace Haste, a very important one. This one's gonna give you a lot of critical strike chance. To deal damage with Flintering Energy, you need critical strike chance, so this one is very important. As you notice here, all this power blue or like magic boss power, they are very easy to find. You just have to go to the apparition zone that are random on the map. It always changes, and you just have to find apparition, go there and slay the boss, then you're gonna get the power. They are not here right now, I cannot find one, but you will find it like pretty easily. Yeah, here for example, this apparition incursion, you just go here, slay the monster, and the boss gonna be random, but you just do a few and you're gonna find those 3 boss power. The second one is Incinerate Flame, that's gonna give you more elemental damage and very important also, just more damage. Beastmaster, the most important one for Lightning Spear, that's gonna buff your summon, and Lightning Spear is a summon, so it's 150% more damage on this one. This one is Revival of Bombs. It's gonna give you 15% cooldown, and if you don't have it, it's not a big deal. You're gonna find it here. You just have to teleport on the boss in T1 and kill him once. Then you're gonna have his power here. But if you don't have it, it's not a big deal, it's just gonna help. But yeah, that's for the boss power, mainly to have more damage. Equipment here, okay. On the runes, I use Knocked and Chul because the runes are not very rare and I found them very early, but I think it's very good. I put that also in the planner. We use C and Gar to get more critical strike chance. The goal is to be as close as possible to 100. Here I have 74 with Beastmaster on the boss power that give you 50 plus 25. We are like 99% crits, which is okay. You try to aim 100% crits, but like if you have like 85-90%, it's still gonna work, so no need to overthink about that. Potion, you decide between resourcefulness or advantage. Same for the incenses, doesn't really matter. Quickly on the skill tree, you need 2 here to unlock here. I have a fireball here to execute, but mainly also like it can be useful from time to time. Like if you try to push a bit or a monster doesn't want to die, you can execute them with greater fireball. You have a frozen orb here, and with the addition of the rune tool, you can freeze them, and this can help you with the mana too. Frozen orb, I don't put strength in frozen orb because all the damage are coming from splintering energy. Then you have flame shield here. If you need a panic button, you got teleports here. With mystical teleport, you got crackling energy. Crackling energy becomes important this season because it gives you more damage. Glass cannon, ice armor here. Familiar that are generated by unstable current too. We have protection, we have our main skill here, lightning spear, also that's gonna help you to crowd control and stun. primordial binding, the most important one for lightning spear build. That's gonna give you more damage, mana regeneration, movement speed, like this is everything. Mana shield for more defense, this is for more damage. All this also more damaging nodes, this is damage, this is cooldown. You have unstable current here, and crackling energy is important this season because of convulsion. Now when you have crackling energy, it's gonna help you to deal more damage. That's why you also use this one. That's gonna help you keep up your crackling energy. And finally, enlightenments, and you deal most of your damage when your enlightenment is up. So when your enlightenment is down, like here as you can see, and you alternate between, let's say, frozen orb and fireball, it's easier to keep it up. But that's very specific, and I don't think you need to enter such detail for the leveling transition. What we have a Paragon board. The full Paragon board is on Mobility, on the planner, but that's how I did, because obviously I'm not level 300 yet. You can check how I did here, and compared to the planner, what I try to do is I try to activate the glyphs. I try to get all my glyphs to level 16 first, and then I try to get them to 46. Like, it's not even done here, like, but that's what I try to do. I try to get legendary node and activate the glyph, and I try to skip useless node if I can. And yeah, if you need example because you're low level and you are wondering how to do your Paragon, that's just an example if you need. Mercenary, I was playing in group and I forgot to take mercenary, but you wanna have Subo for the map hack. It's this path on Mobility, and Rahi, it's not even level up, but you wanna have Bastion, and I guess it's when you get injured or when you get crowd control, as you prefer. And yeah, that build is pretty straightforward. You need two things, as I said earlier. You need splintering energy and fractured winter glass that you can find on Zia. And yeah, that's it for this build. But this build is not the endgame build, it's to help you to reach T4 and to start farm mythical. There is a version with mythical unique when you're gonna drop your Shaco, Starless Sky, but obviously your main goal is gonna be to switch to the top meta build, this one. The problem with this one is you're gonna need a very good amulet to be able to play it, but this build gonna be a lot stronger and you should aim to go for that build. And yeah, the season 8 got a little bit harder to reach T4 and farm the boss mats. Now we cannot do rotation, everyone has to bring their own mat, so I hope this video gonna help you to reach T4. If you have more questions, feel free to ask on the comment section. Let me know if that was useful, and don't forget to subscribe, leave me a like or a comment, and I will see you next time for another video.